So I did a video a while back, or a couple videos a while back, with the Doodlebug mini bike. It had a 3-foot long exhaust and a 7-foot long intake, and the bike ran really well. It was a rocket ship. The bike has a Tillotson 212 with a billet rod, billet flywheel, hot 265 cam, 24mm flat slide with a header pipe, and I think it has a 10 thousandths head gasket. So it's your basic mini bike build. So quite a few people in the comments were saying that I should try a Ram Air intake. So this time around, I'm gonna put your average length intake back on it and exhaust, and I'll take the bike out for a 0 to 30 at top speed and get a baseline on it. And then I'm gonna install this assortment of tubing and make up a Ram Air style intake for this bike. And then I'll take it back out for a 0 to 30 at top speed, and we'll see if it's any faster with the Ram Air intake. Okay, so let me remove all this sweet intake. Man, it's surprising how fast this bike was with this long intake on here. I guess I'll go ahead and remove it for science. Remove my 10,000 zip ties. Man, got a good leak going on here. To remove my super long throttle cable. Pull off my throttle linkage here. Yeah, sad to see it go. Cut off my custom carb braces here. Remove my sweet intake. Alright, here we go. Now I'll put a standard length intake on here, or your average length. Okay, so I got it all off of there, and it's a little bit longer. The piece of pipe I'm using is a little bit longer than your average style flat slide intake. So I think that'll work. So I think I'll throw it on there with that, and then hook the Ram Air from there out where it comes out and turns. So we'll see how that works. Got the other hose end on this side. Yeah, so it's a little longer than normal. I think it'll be okay. So we're talking a few more inches. It'll be interesting to see how it runs with the just with a little bit longer intake. And I have the numbers from before, from the previous videos, so we can compare. Okay, slap this carb on here. So that looks pretty good. Throw a fuel line on here. Throw my slide back down in here. And it's nice that my cable, throttle cable, looks like it's long enough for this extra length on the carb. Barely, but I think it is. So now I'll take this thing out, throw a standard air filter on it, or a regular foam air filter on it, and I'll take it out and get a baseline on this thing. See how it runs with a little bit extra length on the intake. And then I'll come back and then I'll do my Ram Air setup. And then we'll see how that runs compared to the foam air filter. So we have a little bit longer intake and your standard length header. Man, it seems to run pretty good with this intake on here. Man, you can really feel this thing get into that power band. Okay, 4.48. So let me try another one and see if I can back that up. Okay, 0 to 30 with an intake that's just a little longer than normal. Let's see what we did. Feels pretty good. A 4.53. Okay, so we're right in there, about 4.5 seconds from 0 to 30. Now let me go run this thing top speed. I think we have to beat around, I think it's 57 miles an hour or so. Top speed run without the ram air. Okay, let's do it at a different top speed. And I ran it both ways. 57.30. So we're running about, what? About a 6-inch intake on here. Okay, so we got a baseline with the 6-inch intake. So far, with no ram air and a foam air filter. Bike did 4.48 and 4.53, 0 to 30. So it's really consistent. And 57.30. So now I'll go add the ram air. So it ran pretty decent with the 6-inch intake. Well, it's 4.5 from 0 to 30 and 57 miles an hour. That's right in there where it normally runs. So I got my first piece of hose installed on the carb there. And now I'll clamp it. And then I think I'll run another piece here, a small piece of tubing, and then I'll run my other angle out so I can get more of a straight shot for the wind. So I tighten up my clamp on here. So I got that on there. So now I'll put my super thin walled tubing in here. Okay, so I got that on there. Now I'm gonna add my other piece out here, my other bend. All right, well, that'll work. Put a couple clamps on that. Make sure I get this thing tightened on here. Because with this much extra power, it could blow this tube right off. All right, so I got it on there so far, a couple pieces, but it's still not aiming totally forward. So I think I'm gonna add one more piece and that'll get it to the correct angle. So it'll actually ram air. So I'll put another small piece in here. Kind of hook the two together. So I'll throw this one on here. And get that right, correct angle. Okay, so that looks like it'll work. It's facing the front. So I clamp that on there. And then I'll throw my final piece on here with a velocity stack. Maybe to grab a little bit more air. And I have a screen on there, which I can always take off. But I think I'll leave it on there first. So let me throw some clamps on this. So I'll put a clamp on here. Put my velocity stack on there. Tighten that up. So there we go. So that looks pretty sweet. Man, that's gotta be worth 20 horsepower right there. So let's take this out for a 0 to 30 and top speed. And I don't know if 0 to 30 will change much. I mean, because you know, we're not ramming much air in there. But who knows? I mean, we are going 30. So I guess we'll see if we can beat, what, 4.48 and 57.30. Well, so far so good. Okay, we're still on there. Sweet. Okay, let's see if we can beat a 4.48, 0 to 30. 0 to 30. Ram air intake. I can feel it surge a little bit. I'm not sure if you can pick that up on camera, but you can feel it surge just a little bit. A 4.33. All right, let me try that again. Well, so far so good. 4.33, we'll see if we can beat that. 0 to 30, ram air intake. A 4.42, so it's actually a little quicker. And it did 6.56, 0 to 40. Now we'll see if we can beat 57.30 top speed. Okay, top speed run, ram air. Yeah, when you get on it all the way, it does not like it. So the bike's a little quicker from 0 to 30, but a little bit slower at top speed. So with your standard foam intake, the bike did 4.48 0 to 30 best time, and 57.30 top speed. Then I added the ram air, and it knocked off a couple tenths of a second from 0 to 30, 4.33. So it's quite a bit quicker actually. But then it lost a little bit of top speed, almost a mile per hour. When you give it the full throttle, it kind of cuts out, but if you let off the throttle, I'd say about maybe the 3/4 throttle, then it picks up speed. So I wonder if I rejet the main circuit on the carb for more fuel to go with more air when you hold it wide open, if it would be faster.